Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to give my first impressions of the Giantmouse Ace Iona. So this is another one that was loaned into me by Grady's Gear. You're going to see a few of these in a row here, guys. Chris is a great dude. Go check out his channel. And yeah, let's take a quick first look or first impressions of the Giantmouse Ace Iona. So I did unbox this. I did fidget with it a bit here in my home office. I put it in pocket a couple times, carried it for like half a day. The usual kind of first impressions type stuff. I got a lot of stuff coming in, so I'm constantly rotating and you know, not everything gets to see my pocket for long term. That's why it takes a few weeks to do full term reviews a lot of times. So but I've gotten an idea of this knife, and I already know that I don't like it. And I'm just being honest right off the bat, guys. So it does have this anso pattern. It is interesting. This is definitely one of the more anso-like Giantmouses we've seen. I'd say that along with like the Clyde, you know, the Sonoma. Those are more anso knives as opposed to the Voxnez, like the Biblio and the Riv and the Grand, you know. But yeah, so you get this FRN and you get an M390 blade, and you get that for $100. I mean, I think that's a great deal. I definitely have no issues with the pricing on this, but the action is very, very lacking. It does snap out of there pretty good. Detent's pretty good on the thumb flick. This liner lock is pretty brutal in my opinion. You have to really shove your finger in there, and being left-handed, I get pinched a lot. My skin gets pinched in there, and then I end up taking a chunk out because I have to like pull my thumb out of there, and you can see my skin in there, which kind of sucks. Right-handed, less so, but it's not much of a dropper, so you know you got to kind of do this and then shake it down. It's almost like a two-hand operating knife, honestly. You know, you don't have much clearance on the thumb studs on either side there. See that? I mean, you don't have much room to get in there, but they do stick out a little bit, so you can get in there and flick it out. I've heard a lot of people compare this to the bug out and call it a bug out killer. It's not centered, by the way. We're 2 for 2, Chris. Both of the knives I've done the first impressions on so far are not centered. And it does have a reversible clip, which is cool, of course, for me. I didn't even switch this over. I did switch over his Apache. I didn't even think to do it on this because it's thumb studs and it's not as much of a big deal. Yeah, that action is not fun. Now, let's look at the blade. I mean, you have this drop point blade. It's just a basic drop point. I like it. It does kind of remind you of the bug out. Hang on, let me move some stuff here. Here's your bug out. So it does kind of have a similarity to it. It really reminds me of something else that I can't think of. Is it the Sabenza blade? Oh no, it's the rat. It's the rat. Ontario rat model 1 and 2. That blade shape looks just like that. But yeah, it's just a drop point blade, and there you go. There's a size comparison for you. Let me zoom in. And I'll get a pair 3 out for you. We can look at that too, right? Bring it down a little. Pop that one in. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. So, just a little bit smaller than both, basically. It might be dead on with the pair 3, and then a tad bit smaller on both ends for the bug out. And I will say right off the bat, I much prefer the bug out. I mean, thumb stud action and the axis lock, very nice. And then the pair 3 with the compression lock. Both of those are going to be a lot more fidgety, especially for a lefty with this OCD for EDC CME on here that I really love. But anyway, that's a quick comparison there in terms of size. And yeah, so you have this wire clip, pretty giant mousey type thing to do. I like wire clips. It goes most of the way to the end of the knife, which is nice. Sits nice and deep. Yeah, I mean, it really just is a basic knife, man. If you're just looking for a knife, you know, and you need something to work with or take out in the woods or whatever, to have a folder with you, you don't need anything fancy, you don't need a fidget toy. You know, that's what Giantmouse originally, and I think still is about giving you a good work knife. They've never advertised themselves as fidgety type knife guys, right? Like the Nimbus. I mean, the Nimbus, if you think about it, the version 2, the version 1, I mean, those are work knives, guys. That's what they were going for with that knife. That's their thing. I mean, they want you to have a good, solid, sturdy work knife. And in this knife, they were trying to get you a M390 blade for a relatively decent price. A good, solid, strong blade steel to work with for a good price. And they did that. I think they did that here. But it doesn't check a lot of boxes for me, right? Ergonomics on this they're okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that kind of rock pattern or whatever. And because of the curve in here, it's like a constant curve. It just feels a little weird, and maybe my hand is just a touch too big because I get hit by this point and then I get hit by this point. So I'm just getting kind of pointed. Sound like an idiot, but that makes sense, right? So I never really get the most comfortable grip, but you do get some good control of this blade here. Again, I mean, it's a short blade. We're talking about, what, 3 inches maybe? And yeah, I mean, it's just a good work knife. That's all I can say about it. It's definitely not good for lefties because you get your finger in that liner lock a bit. Like I said, fit and finish is not fantastic. I'm sure this was made by Fox Knives, so I can definitely see why that is the case. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. That's kind of my initial take here on the Giantmouse Ace Iona. Again, I want to thank Grady for letting me check this out, because this is another knife like the Apache that I've always wanted to try, and I'm glad I never spent my money on it. So far, I'm batting 1,000 here on, like, never bought the knife because I wasn't sure about certain things, and it turns out I'm right about those. That doesn't mean anything in terms of the knife being good or not. That's just my personal experience. I'm pretty sure Grady likes all the knives he sent me, right? So it's obviously going to be an individual preference type deal. So anyway, big shout out to Grady's Gear, and I love you guys so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.